Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjo Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjo Bihari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjo Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansi Bharakacharya Tarashi Simad His Divine Grace Sri Lesa Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Purvakatira Sarasri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai, Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Chatumasya Dham Ki Jai, Sri Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glory to the assembled devotee. All glory to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse is number 35. Correct? Yes. So, Kṛṣṇa is continuing to instruct Arjuna in his prescribed duties. Please repeat. śreyān, sva-dharmo, viguṇaḥ, para-dharmāt, su-anuṣṭhitāt, sva-dharme, nidhanam, śreyaḥ, para-dharmo, bhaya-āvahaḥ, śreyān sva-dharmo viguṇaḥ, para-dharmāt, sva-anuṣṭhitāt, sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ, para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ, śreyān sva-dharmo viguṇaḥ, para-dharmāt, sva-anuṣṭhitāt, sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ, para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ, śreyān sva-dharmo viguṇaḥ, para-dharmāt, sva-anuṣṭhitāt, sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ, para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ.
śreyaḥ sva-dharmo viguṇaḥ, para-dharmāt su-anuṣṭhitāt, sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ, para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ.
sva-dharmo para-dharmāt.
sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ.
Sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ.
para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ.
para-dharmo bhaya-āvaḥ.
śreyān sva-dharmo viguṇaḥ. para-dharmāt sva-anuṣṭhitāt. sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ. para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ. para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ. śreyān sva-dharmo viguṇaḥ. para-dharmāt sva-anuṣṭhitāt. sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ. para-dharmo bhaya-āvaḥ.
So, Vaishnavis, sva-dharmo vijnana, para-dharmāt sva-anuṣṭhitāt, sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ, para-dharmo bhaya-āvaḥ. So, please repeat, śreyān, far better, sva-dharmaḥ, one's prescribed duties, viguṇaḥ, even faulty, para-dharmāt, than duties mentioned for others, su-anuṣṭhitāt, perfectly done, sva-dharme, in one's prescribed duties, nidhanam, destruction, śreyaḥ, better, para-dharmaḥ, duties prescribed for others, bhaya-āvahaḥ, dangerous. So, translation, Srila Prabhupada. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. Please repeat. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. One should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Kṛṣṇa consciousness, rather than those prescribed for others. Materially, prescribed duties are duties enjoined according to one's psychophysical condition, under the spell of the modes of material nature. Spiritual duties are ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Kṛṣṇa. But whether material or spiritual, one should stick to his prescribed duties even up to death, rather than imitate another's prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform are duties, and duties on the material platform may be different, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performer. When one is under the spell of the modes of material nature, one should follow the prescribed duties for his particular situation and should not imitate others. For example, a brāhmaṇa who is in the mode of goodness is nonviolent, whereas a kṣatriya who is in the mode of passion is allowed to be violent. As such, for a kṣatriya it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence than to imitate a brāhmaṇa who follows the principles of non-violence. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process, not abruptly. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. In that complete stage of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the kṣatriya may act as a brāhmaṇa, or a brāhmaṇa may act as a kṣatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinctions of the material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a kṣatriya, but later on he acted as a brāhmaṇa, whereas Parashuram was a brāhmaṇa, but later on he acted as a kṣatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so, but as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At that time, he must have a full sense of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So, Makam karochi vachalam pangam laite girim yad kripa tamaham bande si guru rinatarinam śreyān dharmo viguṇaḥ para-dharmāt sva-anuṣṭhitāt sva-dharme nidhanam śreyaḥ para-dharmo bhaya-āvahaḥ. So it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. So there's a hint in here again for Arjuna, right? Arjuna wanted to be a nonviolent brāhmaṇa at the beginning. He didn't want to fight. Oh, I renounce this. This is not good. But Kṛṣṇa said, no, Arjuna, compiled by your own nature, as a kṣatriya, you will be forced to act anyway. So now you should act. Atmarati. If you remember a few weeks ago, Kṛṣṇa was explaining you must be atmarati. That means you must be attached to the Atma, your spiritual nature, as a servant of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. You must perform your duties situated within yourself in an equipoised manner, and then, even though you're acting as a kṣatriya, violently fighting on this battlefield, you will incur no sin, because you will be acting and offering your prescribed duty of fighting as an offering to Vishnu. So this is very important, because to follow another's path is dangerous. And Prabhupada said that in the purport, right? The spiritual master, he gives transcendental service, and he gives service that is suitable for the disciple. So of course these prescribed duties, we know in the Vedic tradition, in the Varnashram, is guna karma, and we know, as Prabhupada many times said, the problem is that in the modern day it is guna janma dharma. People are being classified in the Vedic system according to their birth. But that is not the Vedic system. It is according to the qualities of a person. Those qualities are there according to the material modes of nature. So the Brahmana should be strongly in goodness, Kṣatriya in mode of passion, the Vaishya passion and ignorance, and the Shudra may be in ignorance. So they're the four varnas. So they are according to guna, not according to birth. There's a story about a great sage, and he was approached by, this may be attached, this story, to Narada Muni in his earlier life. And he was approached by a young boy. And this young boy said, please take me as your disciple. I want to be your disciple. And the sage looked at the young boy and he said, tell me, who's your father? Which might be interpreted as, what is your varna? You know, what is your family? So the young boy said to the sage, well, actually, I don't know my father. My mother was a maidservant in a rest house, guest house, and she may have known many men. So I never really know or knew my father. So the sage said to the boy, you are being truthful. You are a brāhmaṇa. I will initiate you. So this is very instructive, right? The boy didn't try to be evasive or tricky. He just told truthfully. That is the quality of a Brahman. He just states the truth, take it or leave it, without pride or prejudice. And so the young boy showed his honesty to the sage. So the sage didn't consider, oh, you don't have a proper father, you're born from a woman in unfortunate condition, but still I will teach you because you are honest. So honesty is the best policy. This is the thing. So here, this is dishonesty. If we are a kṣatriya, all primed up, trained up to defend righteousness on the battlefield, and then we want to become a Brahman, we want to become non-violent, this is not correct. Kṛṣṇa is telling Arjuna, another hint here. You have a duty, the situation is such. Now I've already instructed you that according to Sankhya, you're not the body, they're not the body. Now you must perform your prescribed duty as an offering to Vishnu. This is your duty, it's your duty to your son. Furthermore, later on it will become even more clear that this is Kṛṣṇa's desire to dharma samsthapanāthaya, to re-establish dharma, paritranaya, to protect Yudhisthira and his brothers and all the good devotees, and vinashaya to duskritam. So now you know the situation. This is next chapter, isn't it? Evam param praptam. That I am particularly arranging this battle because Brahma has called me. Brahma has called me onto the earth, seeing that the earth is full of terrible people who are acting as kṣatriyas, but they're actually demons. That's what's stated in the Mahabharata. Now what is the demon kṣatriya, false kṣatriya? He is not serving the people, but exploiting the people. Right? So the three higher castes, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, all of which may be initiated and given prescribed duty according to their nature, they are not meant to exploit the Shudra or the general population. They are meant to instruct, protect, and develop. But what's happened now, we see in the Kali Yuga, right? That people are becoming super rich, but they're never satisfied. And they may have trillions, literally trillions of dollars, but they want to get more. And they keep it in a tight fist, and they won't give any taxation to the government, and people are just starving in the street can't afford a house, can't maintain a family, working day and night. So this is demoniac civilization. The Krishna conscious civilization, the higher caste, if you like to call them higher caste, the Brahmins are the head, the Kshatriyas are the arm, the Vaishyas are the torso, the Shudras are the legs of the social body. The higher caste people, or the higher Varna people, they are meant to serve everyone, That is the Vedic civilization. It is a matter of dutiful service. It is not a matter of, I'm in a position, now I can exploit it. And this is what we see in the world today. So I'm often saying we have to examine people and we have to look, is this Ram or is this Ravana I'm looking at? Is this Yudhisthira Maharaj or is this Duryodhana? Is this Hiranyakashipu or is this Prahlad Maharaj? Right? We have to examine. Am I looking at a demon? Is this person a demon exploiting his life and situation for sense gratification? Or is he a servant of the people? He's using his position as a servant. And so people are greedy, but in the Vedic system, dharma performed nicely develops artha. But now, particularly now, we see that our dharma, people think will get artha. By being cheating, I will get economic prosperity. So these kind of civilizations, they collapse because of the pap. They generate so much sinful activity, abortion, war, lying, untruthfulness, that eventually they collapse. Just like a social body collapses, so the body, if we take lots of poisonous food, we don't rest properly, we don't keep ourselves hygienically, then eventually what will happen? The health will collapse, right? So that is something we can see, that human society at the present time is very violent. There is an international war, precipice everywhere, everyone is fighting. Why? Because the seva bhav is not there, the desire to exploit is there. So of course that is the duty of the Brahmins, and Kṛṣṇa is acting as the teacher here. He's teaching Arjuna, you have your duty, now do it as an offering to Vishnu. Yajñātāt kamano nyatra. So that must be the education of everyone in material society. And then a society and civilization will progress. Because, as Prabhupada pointed out in the purport there, that we have material duties and we should perform them nicely until we are actually transcendental. We shouldn't try to be an avaduta and when we are still in the neophyte condition. We should gather knowledge. Prabhupada even said there that we should make progress steadily. So that is there for the general population. They must make steady progress. And that is by serving the order of the Guru. As we say, Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate, that what is bhakti? It is to serve the senses of Kṛṣṇa. But in the beginning, we are serving the senses of Kṛṣṇa by serving the order of the Guru. When we follow regulative principles, we are doing that under the order of the Guru. So that gives pleasure to the Guru to see a good disciple. We're chanting 16 rounds a day, and that gives pleasure to the Guru. Guru is satisfied. That is service. Then we're chanting 3 Gayatris, and we're studying Shastra, and we're being charitable to people with spiritual knowledge. Then that is service to Kṛṣṇa. As Vishwanath Chakravarti said, the life and soul of the disciple is the order of Guru. So through becoming dedicated to the order of Guru, we develop seva bhav that is natural. That's in the Gita also. We'll see that in the 4th chapter. Tadvidi pratipatena pariparshnena sevaya upadex gyanti te jnanam jnaninas tatvadashana. That you'll get instruction from Guru, and then you should sevaya. You should serve that instruction. That is your seva-bhav. That is awakening. So when the material duties and the spiritual duties are performed under the spiritual master, the transcendental, mahat sevam aho vimuktes, then the seva-bhav is automatically taking place. But of course we should understand philosophically that yes, mama angsa jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, I am a spirit soul, and we should understand through Siddhanta, therefore I must serve the supreme whole, Vasudeva Savamiti, Janmadhyas Yata, I've emanated from Kṛṣṇa. And when we meditate upon that, we realize that Kṛṣṇa is Suridam Sarvabhutanam, the best friend. He's giving instruction, he's giving us existence, he's giving us eternal life. And then, so how can we be Matsarya? Matsarya, envy, makes us, oh, I don't want to serve, I want to be the exploiter, the controller. That is the disease of the living entity. So, that is overcome by Siddhanta. By hearing from the pure devotee, we realize our mistake intellectually, but we also become purified by hearing the spiritual knowledge. And we become established, as we say, in the self. Oh, I'm a spirit soul. And all this is a spell. We discussed this previously in previous classes, that when one is under the spell of the modes of material nature, right? People are under the spell. They are thinking that I am the body. So this is a very important point, that we may have material duties, but through Siddhanta, understanding spiritual knowledge, we spiritualize those duties and they become bhakti. And we are no longer just performing dharma from a material, moralistic point of view. We're performing dharma as an offering to the Supreme Lord. There's that verse, isn't there? Dharma sva-anuṣṭhitam pumsam bhiksvaksena kata ruchi. Yeah. Yes, that if you perform all your material duties, your dharma in varna, you know, as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, if you do that all very nicely, but you don't develop a taste for hearing about Kṛṣṇa, his Leela, then that's useless labor. So Bhagavatam is very strict on, that is the Amala Puran, it's giving no credence to just karmic activities. It's saying, no, that's useless. Why? Because you will remain in the cycle of birth and death. You may go up to heavenly planets by doing your dharma, guna karma means your dharma. You may go up, but you're still in the cycle of birth and death. But by hearing, this is very interesting, that Kṛṣṇa or Veda Vyasa is saying there that if you don't get the idea of hearing about Kṛṣṇa, that is a reference to Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. If you're doing your dharma, which is an external form of bhakti, doing your, as it says in the Sanskrit here, sva-dharme, sva-dharma, sva-bhava means your dharma that has been assumed. Swa-bhava means your mood, material mood. It's been assumed by your interaction with the material modes, sva-dharme. It is not your swarup. Swarup means your spiritual relationship with Kṛṣṇa, your spiritual form. So that is the real goal. Just superficially performing one's material duties and becoming very moralistic and dutiful without hearing. So hearing shravanam, shravanadi sudachitte karide udai, right? Shravanadi means shravanam, kirtanam, vishnu smarana, shravanam, adi, and the rest of the nine practices. Then karide udai. So I was just listening to a lecture of Prabhupada today, and he was saying hearing is the most important thing. That if you just hear, you can reach perfection. That's what Parikshit Maharaj did, right? He's the cipher for that. Sukadeva Goswami was chanting Kirtan, but Parikshit Maharaj heard from Sukadeva Goswami for 7 days, asking relevant question, and he reached perfection. Even though he was a kṣatriya involved in so many things. And there's another example there, Bharat Maharaj, he went to the forest, right? He wanted to, I give up these kingly duties, now let me go to the forest and pursue Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, my bhajan, without distraction of these secondary external things. Of course, he had trouble with a deer, but Kṛṣṇa saved him anyway, became Jadbharat and so on. You know the story very nicely. So, that is the Bhagavatam, that is the Vedic literature. It is explaining, yes, for human society, so much regulation is there. The Varnas and the spiritual orders, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. So they should be followed. And this verse is emphasizing, you must follow them as they are suitable to you. You must take the rules and regulations, I think it's said in the previous verse, principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. So yes, it's regulated life in all these 8 spiritual orders, and the material orders combined makes 8. But we must pursue them properly. And therefore, there's many examples in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? In this 5th chapter in the Anchalila, Junior Haridas was chastised because he was living in the renounced order, but then he was accepting donation from Siki Mahiti's sister, and she is one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. And it's explained there that Lord Chaitanya chastised Junior Haridas to give an example for his sampradaya in the future, so that sannyasis would not, people in the renounced Vaishnava order would not associate with women. But then there's another and also very interesting story about Gadadhar Pandit. I think he went with Govinda to see Vrishabhanu Maharaj, who was Pundarik Vijayanidhi. Yes. So Govinda said, come with me, Gadadhar, there's a great Vaishnava there. And and Gadadhar Pandit is brahmachari, of course, brahmachari at that time. And so they went to see Pundarik Vijayanidhi, right? And Pundarik Vijayanidhi was sitting there with a big fancy turban, we can just imagine, a very nice, these sofas are nothing, all embroidered, good cushions and flower pots on both sides. And he was in fancy, you can imagine, fancy gear, embroidered. Gadadhar Pandit thought, what is this? You've taken me to a Vishayi, a sense enjoyer. And then Govinda said, he chanted some verses that evoke Vatsalya Bhav. Pundarik Vijayanidhi is Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And so immediately Pundarik Vijayanidhi went into ecstasy. And as I explained, he was knocking the flower pots and paraphernalia because he was in such ecstasy. So Gadadhar Pandit thought, I made a great offense. So he took diksha from Pundarik Vijayanidhi to overcome what he thought was an offense. So this is Leela, that ultimately it is the bhava is the thing. And that may not be immediately obvious, that to the neophyte. Of course, Gadadhar Pandit, that is Radharani in Panchatattva. And so Radharani is taking, as a brahmachari, is taking diksha from Pundarik Vijayanidhi, who is her father in Kṛṣṇa Lila. Very interesting. And also the big brahmachari, Narada Muni, he's married in Chaitanya Lila, Srivas Pandit, right? And the Sankirtan movement started in his courtyard. They used to get together, the Panchatattva, the devotees, and have a big kirtan. And so he is the famous renunciant with the veena, going here and there, instructing and giving initiation. But in Chaitanya Lila, he's a grihasta. So ultimately, Prabhupada makes this point here at the end, doesn't he? He says, it doesn't matter Brahman, Kshatriya. He gives the example of Vishramita. So Vishramita, of course, you know, he was a big Kshatriya. But then he was defeated by Vasishta Muni. So he thought, I thought I was powerful as a Kshatriya. Now I'm going to follow the Brahminical Dharma. And so there's many stories in the Puranas about Vasishta Muni and Vishramita contesting who is the. They took different forms. I read one story, they took herons. They took the form of herons and attacked each other and fought each other. So in that way, but eventually Vishramita Muni, he was initiated as a Brahmin by Lord Brahma. There's a story also I read in the Puranas. So though they indicate the initial point that it is according to quality, really, isn't it? It's according to bhava. And you can change your nature by sadhana, by tapasya. That is there in the teachings of Rishabhdev, that he is instructing his 100 sons. He said, tapo divyam putraka. Yeah. So he says, now look, my old sons, don't exploit your position as being my sons and big Kshatriyas. Serve Bharat Maharaj, he's a very advanced devotee. Always stay celibate and engage in tapo divyam, tapasya, study and this and that, to get Brahma Sokyam, to get spiritual joy, to get the happiness. Kartam susukam kartam avyayam, Kṛṣṇa says. This great secret is that spiritual life, it looks very renounced and full of tapasya, but the heart of a devotee is relishing, he's situated in unceasing and increasing bliss. So there's also another verse, right, Madhavendra Puri, right? He came to Vrindavan, and there's a famous verse. He is designated as manifesting Krishna Prem in our sampradaya. And there's a verse, and now I've come into the land of the Lord of Gokul, and I put aside my mantras and my Brahman thread, and I just sit and become immersed in the Leela of Krishna, in Prem Bhav. So, yes, Prabhupada, that is the conclusion, but don't try to imitate it. Huh? What does Lord Chaitanya? Yes, we want that. We want to get that Prem Bhav by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pavana, Sevanam. But what does... And so if you go here and there in Vrindavan, there are many people who are not very good philosophers. They will tell you, oh, I have a good Diksha Patra. If you become my disciple, I will give you Siddha Pranali, and I'll give you this meditation. But what does Lord Chaitanya say? Does he say that? In the Satsandarbhas, there's nothing about Diksha Patras or Siddha. What does Lord Chaitanya say? Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Pratita. I want to become a speck of dust on your lotus feet. He doesn't say, oh, I'm doing wonderful meditation. I'm imagining I'm in the Ras Leela and Krishna is tugging at my sock. No, he doesn't say anything like that. He says, Lord Chaitanya giving us example. We can't burst into the Leela of Krishna by some meditation. You cannot gate crash the party. We should look at the divine Leela of Krishna in separation. We should know the Leela of Krishna, but we shouldn't think, I will march into Goloka on the basis of my tapodivyam, on the basis of my austerity. What does Lord Brahma say? He says, let me become grass in the Vrindavan area so that I get the dust from the gopis' feet on my head. So Lord Chaitanya said, let me become a speck of dust. Let me get the dust from the gopis' feet, Lord Brahma says. So this is how you enter the Leela of Krishna, by this humility. You become invited. You don't go there because you think you deserve it. I want to go there. This I want. This is the material. I want this, I want that. This is an infection that we're bringing into spiritual life. But we should want, in following the footsteps of the Acharya. What's that? Dharmasya nihitam guham. Yeah, we should follow the path chalked out by Lord Chaitanya. Okay, I want to go there. Nayanam gladys through dhara, but I will worship in separation. I will not worship in an imaginative way, thinking, oh, I'm now with Lalita Shakti. I'm now in the Leela. No, we can't march into Goloka like some conquering kṣatriya. We must go there with great humility. And we must meditate. And what does Krishna say? Manmada bhavamad bhakto majjaji mam namaskaru. You offer obeisances to me and my Leela. When Krishna says mam, it means me, my devotees and my Leela. You approach with great awe and reverence. And you understand, yes, the people want to go there, but they have to realize this divine realm of Goloka. This is the inconceivable Chit Shakti. This is a realm that is, we read a little Bhagavatam and this and that, which is good. We hear That's the most important. But the thing is, how much have we realized that the loving affairs of Radha and Kṛṣṇa are from the Ladini Shakti? How much have we realized the purity of those pastimes? Right? We have some conception and we want to progress in our meditation and understanding. But from those instructions of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Brahma and Kṛṣṇa himself, the way we understand is through humility. So hearing is done, submissive oral reception. Now that doesn't mean to say you're not using your intelligence. What that means, submissive oral reception, is you're hearing from the spiritual master, the Shiksha Guru, the commentary of the great acharyas from the Srimad Bhagavatam, but you're hearing and intelligently trying to understand the message. You're not hearing and then trying to find some fault. Do you see my point? You see my point? This is submissive oral reception. I'm listening to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, but I'm trying to understand that the message that's being conveyed in the words. I'm not just looking, oh, well, there's a bit of a contradiction here. There is one verse in the Vedanta Sutra, Tarkena apratishtat, that the absolute truth is not obtained by tarka, which means argumentation, debate. So at the beginning, yes, we should test the intelligence and test everything. But when we see the value of the spiritual master's message, the Amalapara, the Vedic message, so how it is so sublime, then we should inquire and apply our intelligence to understanding the message, rather than, as I said before, rebelliously trying to. And then we get the flow from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Then we get, what do we get? Sevan mukhi jivado, swayam eva spurya. Spuri means spurti, means it's revealed to us. Spurti. Just like Narada, he was doing his meditation in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. And then, instead of his manasic deity of Vishnu, Vishnu appeared to him. So that is spurti. So that is the point, that if we approach as a speck of dust on Krishna's lotus feet, if we approach like Lord Brahma, the head of our sampradaya, with humility, just let the dust of the devotees on my head, mam namaskuru, let me just pay obeisances to Kṛṣṇa very humbly. This is actually the most powerful method. Because how? It touches the heart of Kṛṣṇa when this humility is performed. And so we have to be humble in that way. We study the Shastra, trying to catch the message. And then Kṛṣṇa gives us spurti. We get understanding. Oh, yes. I read this last week, I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. That's Kṛṣṇa teaching us, giving us spurti. So Shravanam is very important, to hear about the Leela of Kṛṣṇa, to hear about the material energy and all these things. Sambhutim vinasham cha, we should learn about the material world, we should learn about the spiritual world, and we should apply buddhi yogam dadami tam, but priti purvakam. So that is we chant the name with priti purvakam, with affection, not mechanical chanting, not parrot chanting, or not because we want karma or gyan from our chanting, or kaivalya. We chant because it is the order of the Guru, that is service, and it is the means of offering priti purvakam. we chant with priti, with affection to the Supreme Lord as our cause, as our creator. And then Kṛṣṇa reciprocates in that way. If we chant with affection for Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa will appear in our chanting. This is bhakti. So bhakti transcends all the varnashram and all the rules and regulations. That is there as a good basis. But the real thing is bhajatam priti purvakam. And we can chant in that way regularly every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we finished on time. Any question? Everyone's very satisfied, right? So remember now, next time you're chanting, conjure up, draw priti purvakam. And don't think, oh, I'm not saying this is your case, but this might be my case. Hare Krishna, oh, 4 more rounds, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No. We bhajatam priti. So that means we do chanting and we with affection for Kṛṣṇa. And then Kṛṣṇa, oh, this is my... Because isn't that what the acharyas say? The only way to attract Kṛṣṇa is through bhakti bhav, right? Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.